Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope a good day. I know I have. Without further ado, actually, let's stop right there. I just want to say, if you like the video in the future, or if you haven't already, just subscribe. It's free. You can change it any time, and it's for the people. But anyway, yeah. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. So, the world is polarizing as we know it, right? It's pretty obvious that the world is polarizing, and by that I mean it's going either far left or far right, or the already, kind of liberal or center ones are getting a bit more aggressive. As proof of that, you can just this or this. This is easy proof that the world is polarizing. Look at Poland's new laws with LGBT and Hungary's as well. Then look at countries like China, or countries like Mozambique. All over the world, wherever you look, Australia, Brazil, US, China, Mozambique, France, Hungary, like Algeria, Egypt, people are polarizing. They're either getting more far right, far left, or getting more aggressive, revolutionary. So I'm going to make a map of where I think the world is going to polarize. If the world were to snap its fingers right here and polarize, how would they do it? It's color-coded, of course, and I'll do more, in-depth alternate histories if you want me to, and if you also want to, put your opinion in the, chat, I'm a Twitch streamer now, I guess. Shit. I'm a Twitch streamer now. Or, by the way, follow me on Twitch at CascadeyCast, link found below, possibly, I don't know, I'm pretty lazy, but, what was I gonna say? Yeah, if you want to, just put your opinion in the comments on what you think would happen, correct me if I get your country wrong, or a country wrong that you know about, it's fine, and just, comment your opinion. I want to know, I want to expand my knowledge, and it's definitely not for ad revenue or something, no. No, not at all. Anyway, so let's start with Canada. Canada is a pretty fun one, as in it's probably not going to be so fun for the right. Canada generally is pretty liberal in its elections. The far right party, the alt-left, not the far right, but the alt-left. The alt-left parties are pretty generally non-successful, and the more liberal parties are. The thing with Canada is, though, I gotta explain this first, by the way. Lib-left is like neoliberal, liberal, social democrat. That social democrat kind of fits in the middle here. Like social democrat, Democrat if you live in the US, if you need context, and etc. While alt-left would be communist, socialist, democratic socialist, social democrat, I guess, it's in the middle, anarchist, etc. Whilst the alt-right would be fascist, monarchist, paleocon, etc. While the lib-right is more conservatives, Republicans for the US, I guess, and libertarians, and on and on. That's just the general view of it. To put it in perspective, capitalism, but friendly capitalism, fascism, communism. That's the really basic way I can say it. At least economically, I guess. But yes, the world. How should we go? So first I'll start with Canada. Canada would probably be a bit more of a a bit more of a liberal country, because really, look at it now. It's recognizing genocide, it's voting extremely liberal. Not much of Canada is actually going to right at all. In fact, the country is becoming increasingly more liberal and prides itself on its morality, although it is totally not a moral country. In fact, it's as bad or almost worse as the US has been. Controversial take. No, the entire world was bad at one point, and probably still is, depending on who you are. So, there's Canada. I feel like it has the possibility of having more of an alt-left revolution type thing, but I feel like it's gonna keep gradually going more liberal. Now the US. This is the one that's gonna get me banned. It was a joke, YouTube. Please don't hurt me, YouTube. The US. The US is kind of an odd one because it's not evolving as a nation. That's obvious if you live here. It's not evolving as a nation, or it's not evolving as like based on like a pattern like other places are. There's a formula that goes behind it all, factoring in like the actual decisions they're making, and poof, you got the good thing. But then you have the US, which, god damn, basically the US is developing based more on the actual like people and the region more than it is the nation itself. So the US is an odd one, but generally leaning more far right. I feel like the chances of it are pretty light. I mean, they're either going to go alt-left, alt-right, or lib-right, which I feel like alt-left or alt-right would be the most probable ones, same with everything here. But I feel like, generally, it's going to lean a bit more alt-right, simply based on the fact that there are more armed alt-right revolutionary, quote-unquote, groups in the US than there are on the left, the far left. I mean, on the right you have Proud Boys, etc., etc., etc. So many that I can't even think. I just in my state where I live, there's like 9 different ones. There's hundreds of them nationally, and I'd say close to about 50 nationally that were all armed and ready to go and like actually active. If you look at the Trump rallies, a lot of those were alt-right groups. A lot of the actually armed people that were prepared and planned. If not, they were lib-right. But same difference in that scenario. So the thing is, with the US, it's a bit different, it's a bit weirder. And why did I give the US Vancouver Island? Screw it, it's part of the US now. But the thing with the US here is that it's different, it's based on the person. I mean, for the alt-left, you have Antifa, the Black Panther's pretty much gone now. If you look at it, it's been replaced with BLM, which is lib-left. Then you have, then you have IWW, but that's just the Rust Belt, and their tactics are getting like older. By that I mean like they're getting older themselves. They're getting a bit less support. Of course, there's a lot of people, but not a lot of like actually skilled or trained people on the left, which is the reality of it. So then you have Mexico. Mexico would probably go a bit more alt-left. I mean, it's either gonna go alt-left or failing and alt-right, so Mexico would be a pretty good alt-left scenario in my mind. Cuba is already alt-left. The Dominican Republic, I'll get to Haiti soon. Haiti is an interesting one. But the thing with Haiti is, Haiti actually recently kind of had a revolutionary thing going on. Their president got their right-wing president got assassinated by the majority left-wing population, or not directly, but that's kind of the direct of it. He got what he deserved. If you look into him, I'm not saying that anyone should be murdered. That's a bad thing. Don't kill people. What are you thinking? But if you look at it, it's almost a karma scenario, because he was killing political opponents and forcing them out of their home, whilst, I mean, the far left population was being driven out of their homes by the political enemy. So, and then, you know, he got killed by hired hitmen. I wonder by who. Haiti, definitely going far left. They've been a revolutionary country in the past, and I feel like they'll be a revolutionary country going into the future. For sure. And since the bucket function won't work on Haiti, I'll just do that. I'm not doing it justice. So Haiti, for sure, kind of goes more far right. So then you have Central America, which the entirety of Central America would definitely go far left. I mean, Belize would probably be an outlier, but all of these guys would go far left, either Bolshevik, National Bolshevik, or just straight up communist, aside from Panama. Panama might decide to go a bit more lib-right than others. Mainly based on their current military dictatorship that they have going on. But the people seem kind of happy where they are, at least the ones I've spoke to. Also gonna skip this one. There we go. I mean, all of Central America, because, like, look at the banana republics, look at the people. They're definitely going far left. They have in the past, the people still are, they still will. Just look at their patterns. Then you have Brazil, which, holy... Wow, Brazil. Dude. Come on, man. Right now they have a far-right leader, but the people are pretty diverse themselves, just like the US. They are more based on region, so I feel like a lot of the major countries, such as China, Russia, especially China, India, Brazil, and the US are the three big ones that would probably collapse other than revolt or have a revolution. Well, Colombia, pretty even far left. I mean, same with Peru, Bolivia. I don't know about Paraguay, but Chile is a socialist state currently, if I'm not wrong. And Ecuador for sure would follow in with their neighbors, which would just raise their neighbors' opportunities too. Then you have Venezuela. Venezuela would be a weird one, but I'll put it more slightly far left, slightly far left, not a ton. Whilst I don't know anything about these guys, or I know about Guyana, they're pretty far left. Whilst that's France right there, and I don't know about them. I'll mark them down the same as their neighbors, based on just the collective form of bleeding through. Brazil, I'm going to leave gray for now, because I don't know about Brazil. Argentina would for sure be far right if you look at their patterns and their leaders, who they're electing, who they're choosing. They'd be pretty significantly far right. Whilst then you'll have Denmark, and I'm counting Greenland as part of Denmark. Sorry, Denmark. Denmark would be a weird one. I feel like they are 100% going into... I feel like they're working in the direction of being far left, just like the entirety of Scandinavia, but I don't think that they are going to get there during revolution. I'm drawing, just a disclaimer, I'm drawing these as different countries. Changing the color of the border and the thickness of it as well. I'm drawing Scotland and England as two different countries for really obvious reasons. Also uniting Ireland. A united Ireland would probably be dominated by the IRA, if I'm not gonna lie. I mean, just look at Dublin now, and then look at the state of Ireland. Ireland, for sure, would be red. I mean, like, it's not even an opportunity. They are going to be red, whilst Scotland might lean a bit more liberal or far right compared to England's definite lib-right or far right. I could put England in a pretty good state of nationalism with that one. Portugal, I'm not 100% sure. Spain, I can see going far left, or medium right, because Spain, I don't think is going to make it. I feel like Spain will collapse into Aragon, Catalonia, and Castile by the time any of this happens, so that's, I'm probably going to draw them up eventually, or I'll change the map. You guys will see next video, because of course this is going to go in parts. But Spain, I can see Spain going far left. I mean, they tried far right with their civil war in the 1940s. Or 30s. You know, like World War II. And I can see them now moving away, because that failed for sure. The people hated Franco. Franco was horrible to the people and a horrible leader. So now I can see, although they are currently a monarchy, like a Confederate monarchy, not Confederate as in like Confederate States of America, but like an actual Confederacy, like the government form. So I could see Spain going one of three ways, aside from far right. And I have a friend from Spain who I'll ask, he'll probably change that, but there you go, Spain. I'll put you in a slight far right area. Well, France, I'm putting in the same, but for the far right. The far left, far right, sorry. France's current government is pretty far right, but I feel like it's only in contradiction to Macron. I feel like if Macron did, I feel like a lot of people are starting to vote for the alt-right in France because of Macron and how the French people don't really like him, to my understanding. So, but France does have a really big history of far-left revolutions and has some pretty strong far-left leaders. So I do think that, for example, Paris Commune. So I do think that France would lean a bit more far-right, nationalist, a bit more imperialist, but who knows? Well, Germany is an obvious lib-right. I mean, in the middle of alt-right and lib-right, because Germany's government is going to make sure that they don't go Nazi again. So they're going to suppress that as hard as they can, while the other version of the right comes out of it. And not like Germany's going to try communism again. So I feel like Germany's going to continue its current state as lib-right. I feel like it'll just get more aggressive, if anything. Here's a hard one. The Netherlands. The Netherlands would be a weird one, but I'm guessing that the Netherlands would probably form Benelux in the event of a world collapse or world revolution. And that Benelux would probably go a bit more far right. But maybe not by a ton. More of an opportunity than France for sure. Poland. Hungary. I gotta turn the toleration down. Speaking of Poland, this song, Winged Hussars. Switzerland, you're an odd one. Slovakia. No. Slovakia. No, but seriously, Slovakia, definitely. Serbia would be a weird one. I feel like Serbia would be Nazbols, in my opinion, same with Russia. Because as the country's getting more nationalist, it's also has a presence of communism in the past. It's like communist nationalism. That's a strange ideology. How would it work? Well, obviously. Communism and nationalism. Duh. But I feel like it'd be kind of end-time Soviet Union, if you understand what I mean. Basically, I think that it would have a civil war, and one side would win or the other. In Serbia's thing, I'm gonna put it at slightly more far-right, but not for, no. I would also put Bosnia at far-right, but not for the destruction of other peoples, but for the protection of their own life. I mean, look where Bosnia is located. They are going to die. Well, Croatia would probably go a bit more far left, but it's a strange one because I don't know Croatia. Italy would just split into two halves, and they wouldn't really care. I mean, of course, a lot of people would. But Italy would definitely split into like two different parts. I could see Italy going north and south, with the more far left south and the more far right north. I mean, honestly. So you have like a Mussolini type Hitler north, although they're very different, but yet it's still similar at the same time. They're still in the same column, if you want to talk about it like that. So northern Italy would go blue, and southern Italy would go red. I mean, look at Italy now. Like, look at Italy now. I mean, seriously, just look at Italy now. I mean, in the past, people thought that Italy was going to break up and split into a far-right north and far-right south, and that's what I'm predicting, too, in this type of an event, at least. And I feel like Sardinia would be an oddball, because they could really choose where they want to side, depending on the people. I'd have to look at election results and voting processes. Here. Boom. Okay, here. That's too blurry to read. Here. Center right, 5-star, center left. So 5-star, I'm guessing, is the more... Okay, so this would be yellow and this would be red. So maybe Italy doesn't go so far right. Maybe North Italy doesn't go so far right. This is definitely like that. I mean, Corsica is now a part of France. Well, I would put their chances at being more far right down. I mean, of course they would be leaning a bit more far right, but not as much as others. It's just a little bit more than the Netherlands. Which the colors are kind of off, but I'm not going to switch them, because screw it. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. For right now, that's the world, and if, yeah, goodbye. That's so good, would it? End it. God, I gotta rethink things, dude.